If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So if you see, we are starting, we have EHS under logistics. So we are starting from industrial hygiene and safety. Of course, some of the topics might seem a bit silly or you might be aware of it. But just because for the sake of training purpose, let us agree and learn even the smallest of the topic. So we will start with the basic data. So in the basic data, we have two options called as address and questionnaire. This is mandatory for any project to happen, the address field. So what do you mean by address? This is a basic data which is created once but used again and again. So I will show you. Here we are having external persons. See, what is the need for us? It's not just about creating the data. We need to understand the basic need why this external person or a record needs to be created. So external persons, can someone explain me what do you mean by external persons or why we need to maintain external persons in the system? That would really help. Anyone?
Ram, if suppose someone has came to like give an interview and he somehow got injured, so in that case, the incident has to be reported. So external person will be created in that case because he is not a permanent employee of that organization.
Okay.
So a new ID will be generated and incident will be reported
In, in,
based
in,
on
a
that.
sim, in a simple way, can we consider external person as a visitor?
Yes, someone who just came
Yes.
for a very short period of time.
Yes, very good, very good. So, external person is nothing but a visitor who enters the premises of the organization for whatever might be the reason. He is not a permanent employee or an employee, he is just visiting the premises. So, we have to have a record of external person just to understand if he is injured, we have to give a treatment. If he is involved, whether because of this any incident or accident happened during the investigation, it needs to be understood. Then we also need to understand the count of. So for all these purposes, external persons are created in the system. So I will show you how they are created. As usual, create, change, and display. This is a business partner. So lot of fields will be there, but for EHS, all are not relevant for us. Only that are relevant we are going to take. Mister, sorry. I always use the name of the god, so pardon me. Not any religious, but I like to use the name of the god. So here we can maintain the address of the person, telephone number, mobile number, email address, and the physical address also of the person, if anything needs to be maintained. And
So
then,
Ram,
yeah,
what T code you have used to go to this page, create person or
I will
something?
tell you the T code when we come back. I just came through the, I think it is CBIHT1, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, okay.
So we just maintain this data and we save it. So a ID gets generated, a unique ID. Yes, so this is a unique ID that gets generated. So it will be for that person as a visitor pass. And the T code is CBIHT1 as I mentioned. So when you go through the T code in the business partner, you will be seeing only the role of external person. You will not be able to see any other role. Just like that, if you see, you will be having only one role. This T code is tagged or tied up with only for this role. Okay, is external person clear?
Yes, Ram.
Yeah. So next one is a physician. So can you tell me what do you mean by a physician? or what is the need for us to maintain a physician? Anyone? No problem.
Doctors,
Yes, doctors are correct, but why we need to maintain it?
I guess for the record
In case of
purpose.
in case of any injury to any person in the campus, or for first aid purposes.
See, okay, for that question, I would like to answer. First aid always need not be given by the doctor. It can be given by your colleagues also who are beside you, who knows first aid and who are trained in first aid. That's why we have someone called as floor leader in our IT also, where the person is capable of administering the first aid also. See, even when a cut is there, when blood is coming out of the cut also, if you tie a band-aid to prevent the blood coming out or to prevent the bleeding, so that is also a first aid.
Right.
Sorry. Yes, please tell me now why we need to maintain a physician.
Like, if anyone need a medical emergency for during some like visiting to the office or something, that can be like sudden, all of sudden medical
Yeah, in a way,
emergency.
what you said was very good. Very good. In a way, what you said was really close. So let me rephrase it. Okay. So basically, what happens is that maybe in the movies also we might have seen, right? Exactly just in time you have got this patient. That's why I could save him. What is this just in time? There is always a golden period for any what to say person who is affected or injured to take him to the hospital where the chances of recovery or saving him is high. You cannot wait for the golden period or time to get over before you take him to the hospital. Are we clear till that point? So now, I don't want to waste my time calling everyone, hey, where is the doctor? Or how should I reach the doctor? Who is the doctor? What is the address of the doctor? I should not waste my time. It should be available for everyone. If a company is really ISO 18,000 certified, or as I said, the 45,000, they have to display the medical practitioner number at the entrance of the plant or office. That is if you don't have a system. But when you have a system, you create it and that will be visible for everyone. So you might be thinking again, the second question come, is he only doctor? Yes, he is the only doctor. I will ask you another question to give the example. Suppose if a snake bite happens, snake bite, where would you like to take the injured person? Anyone can tell me this. It's a common thing where most people don't do a right way. Where will you take the injured person in the case of snake bite? Tell me. Anyone? It's a very simple question, right? It seems silly also. But in the case of snake bite, where would you like to take the person?
So,
Sorry?
Like next available immediate doctor, so that he
No,
can
no, you should not take him to next available doctor. No. And
emergency.
you cannot take him to costly hospitals like Apollo, Wakad or whatever, Virinchar, whatever it is. You have to take in the government hospital. No one has the right in India to store the antivenom. Simple. So now what is the relation between the example I gave and physician? See, when you are studying engineering or any bachelor's degree, you might be knowing the entire subject. But when you came to IT, Did you remember all the subjects knowledge? No. Only the things that are relevant for you are remembering. In a similar way, these physicians are trained to handle the injuries that will happen because of exposure to chemicals. I was working with a client who produces chlorine, phosphoric acid, and bromine. These are the products he produces. So the two physicians within the plant premises, one is inside the plant, one is outside the plant in the village where the plant is there. Both are qualified to treat the injuries that arise because of if I'm exposed to either chlorine or bromine or phosphoric acid, which is a chemical in nature. So these are called as occupational health physicians or practitioners. Okay. So they know, so that is the reason these are qualified to take the treatment for the injured person. So that is the reason you can see the address is being made mandatory here, all the locations. Why? For the doctor, it has to be important to maintain the address. So without address, we cannot go and get the treatment done. If I save it, it will not allow me. Mandatory field. So whether it makes sense or not, I have to maintain certain address to ensure that this record gets saved. Now if I save it, oh, what is the problem? I'm sorry, there might be a small glitch here. Yes. Anyone can answer, anyone can ask me that question if you're having any doubt. So we will have it saved. Clear? So address is mandatory for any physician to take him immediately so that the just in time or the golden period is proper for everyone. Next we have health centers. So what do you mean by health center? Anyone?
Health
Nearby,
center where we
nearby
can
hospital,
yeah,
nearby
like
hospitals are tie-up for hospitals.
Very good. It's the hospitals which are tied up with our organization. Again, the same example what I have given. In the case of snake bite, you will take them only to the government medical center. Plants are located somewhere, right? They are not always inside the city. They are outside the city. So snake bite is a common thing. Injuries, exposure to chemicals is a common thing. So the health centers which are relevant, only we should take them to that particular location. Clear? So in the same way, we are creating it. Address is mandatory even in the health center also. For example, I'll put Apollo Hospital. Say, there might be another glitch of 3 minutes again if power comes back. So sorry for that. Yeah, we are in the middle of hospitals. So I hope the hospital concept is also clear, which we call it as health center here. So I hope hospital is also clear where we are creating. So any doubts in this concept of physician, health center, and the external person? Any doubt? Good. If not doubt, we'll proceed.
No,
Ram,
Ram.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. One
Yeah,
small
please
doubt
ask me.
regarding
Please
the
ask.
health center. Generally, in the plant also we'll be having some health centers, right? So where
Correct.
the physicians will be available. So how to define them? Are we going to do the same process, or is there
Yes,
any
the same process even in the plant also. We will maintain the health center. Whatever is as per the area of the plant, we are going to maintain it.
Okay, is it like we define them with the plant code, or just we can give the location?
We have to maintain the location.
Location. Okay.
Location is mandatory. Even if it is a plant, also location is mandatory because if I'm not wrong, plant health centers don't work 24/7 generally. End of the day,
Yes.
end of the general shift, they don't work. So till general shift, people can understand. I have to go to plant. But night shift people, if something happens, there are many accidents or incidents which have happened in the night shift only.
Yes.
So that is the reason.
Okay. Thanks, Ram.
Yeah.
And even the physicians also is the same thing. So the
Yes,
in-house
physicians
the
also the
physicians
same
or
thing.
the nurses or
Yeah.
whatever.
Sometimes a doctor can be on your payroll, a physician, like occupational health physicians. Sometimes he need not be on your payroll. He's an external person. He's a
Okay.
doctor, but he's an external person who comes to visit it. So yes, we maintain it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ram.
Next is authority. So who do you think is the authority? Anyone?
Regulatory body people.
Can you speak a bit louder? Sorry, I'm not able to hear.
Regulatory people.
Okay.
Regulatory body.
Yes, very good. For what? Your answer is absolutely right. Sorry.
Yeah.
These are regulatory people ensuring industrial hygiene and safety policies or protocols are implemented properly. If
Yeah.
you create authorities in other models, example waste management, if you create authorities, these are the authorities responsible for ensuring the waste process to be performing well or not. So whichever module you create an authority, please understand it is relevant for that module. So if I create an authority in industrial hygiene and safety, it means I am doing it for industrial hygiene and safety related practices, protocols, or regulations. I don't worry. So it can be internal, external. How do you say it is internal? See, we are having internal auditors, internal management review committees. All those people are internal to the company. External, the external again vendors who come to audit our process. There can be labor inspectors. There can be local regulatory bodies. Anyone can be an authority. So we maintain the authority information. So can someone say why for authority also the address is mandatory? Physician understandable, um, hospital understandable, health center. But why authority is mandatory? I will really appreciate if someone can answer it properly.
To validate their credentials.
So, sorry, can you repeat it?
To validate their credentials if they're truly.
Not exactly. Not exactly. Why address is mandatory for authority? Simple logic. Anyone?
It can be like to get the certificates from them. So once we have the address in our SAP system. So in case if you want to have any renewal certificate regarding the audit or some regarding the waste disposals or something. So generally we'll be getting the certificates from the government, right? So to get
Not
it from
exactly.
that place also.
Not exactly, because the person who is responsible, he knows whom to contact in the authority, right? Like it might be a clerk, or it might be an inspector, or it might be a director who signs it. So he knows it. See, understand one thing. It might be a bad example, but I'm taking this example. When you are traveling on the road in the own vehicle, if something happens, sorry, so if the incident happens, whom will you contact? First and foremost, whom will you contact? Because you have to claim an insurance, right? So you will contact traffic police. The person will come, take a pictures. By the time you will contact the insurance persons. So he will come, he will also talk to the police, take the pictures, and then only your vehicle will be towed away from the spot for the next subsequent steps. If you don't know whom to contact, how to contact in case of an incident or accident, can the compensation be received? See, this is a discussion, right? So I would expect you also to be speaking, everyone. We're all functional consultants. So yes. Can we expect it to be received, the compensation? No. So these authorities, if something happens, we have to intimate them. Sorry. You are a chemical company, an incident happened, maybe a leakage, spillage, or maybe an explosion. So immediately you have to call to the authority. It can be local fire brigade, it can be your internal management committee, or it can be maybe the local municipality. But is it not? You have to call them. So that is the reason maintaining authority is very important. I would say disaster response team. I would select the yes. Is it clear? Is my explanation clear? Did you understand the reason why we have to maintain address for authority?
Yep. Yes.
Yes. So always remember. So I hope authorities are clear. So now let us come for the next one, next topic. Laboratories. Can someone explain me what do you mean by laboratories and why we need it in industrial hygiene and safety? Anyone? Anyone, please explain me.
So laboratory, it means like where we store the some medical equipment or medicine or something like that related, so that if any emergency, anything there, that the person should know where is the laboratory and they can approach directly there.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
Health checkup centers or medical centers.
Okay, that's all. That's all. We are talking about industrial hygiene and safety. So please understand that concept before we say something. So now tell me, from industrial hygiene and safety, you're all saying laboratory means medical only. I'm saying industrial hygiene and safety. Of course, medical also comes into picture. I'm not saying no for that. But what are the other things?
It's a place where normally hygienist or industrial hygienist work, and they basically evaluate the working conditions of the workers. For example, if they're exposed to some chemicals, or they're exposed to uh, some rays or some noise, so they basically hygienist comes into picture, where they work in the laboratories and evaluate those conditions.
Very, very good. Very, very good. So laboratory means it's not only about the physical evaluation of the health of the employees, it is also about the analyzing the environment. What is the amount of noise? I have to put a gadget to find out the noise. What is the particulate matter you are exposed to? What is the temperature you are exposed to? Whether it is too cold, too hot. So all those things, without having how should I put it? Without having a proper laboratory, we cannot get it done. So chemical company also generally they don't keep all the equipments ready. So every 3 months or every month or every 6 months, they will ask they will ask the company a laboratory to come and analyze the values and give it back to them so that they can report the authorities. So it generally happens no chemical company retains the equipment. They have to contact a laboratory who comes, takes the samples, get the results and give it back to the company. This is how it will be done. Okay, so now we will create a laboratory. I would say it as it is there. It is a physical laboratory, very famous in Hyderabad. They do all the monitoring and all. It's a practical available laboratory. Any doubts in the laboratories? Okay, if no doubts, let us go to the next one. External companies. Why we need an external company? Can someone answer me that? We are already having a vendor maintained by MM team. But again, why EHS needs to maintain external company? Is it not duplication of data? Why we should maintain? Tell me. Anyone? See, we are already maintaining in MM, but why we need to do it again in EHS? Anyone? Please tell me.
Not very sure, but maybe to procure some PP kits or something for the workers.
Okay. That's all. Sorry. See, suppose if you are being sent on site, anytime, anytime if you are being sent on site, are you not intimated by your company? Say, for example, TCS is sending you on site or any other company. Will you not be intimated by your company how to behave in the client premises initially? Everyone will be intimated. Consider a person, a vendor who is providing a organization, a chemical company with logistic support, the trucks and all. The drivers who are coming inside it, They will not be created as external person because they are representing a company. So they have an identity. It is a vendor. So today XYZ driver can come, tomorrow ABC driver can come. So it's up to the vendor. So for them, they don't create external persons. As a company, they will create, and how many containers have come, how many trucks have come, like this, they will maintain it. Why? The way they have to behave and drive within the premises is already being trained by the company, this logistics support company, a waste management company, maybe an auditor, a company which is sending an auditor, they will maintain it. So if they don't train the users how to behave, these vendor companies, then the license or the agreement can be cancelled from the EHS principle. That is the reason we maintain the list of external companies. It is not duplication. It is from the EHS point of view, it is correct. We have to maintain external company. And here address is mandatory because in case of some wrong behavior by the people who are sent by the external company, we have to ensure that immediately the message is conveyed to the vendor. So that is why address is mandatory. I would say we are logistics. Any doubts in the external companies? If no doubt, we are going for the next topic. So that's the reason. Any doubts in external persons or physician or health centers or authority, laboratory or company? Please ask me.
So for external company, Ram, do we need to maintain the driver detail also? Like
No,
we
we don't
created
need
a
to maintain.
company.
No, we don't need to maintain. We will just
Mm-hmm.
maintain the company name. Because why? I will tell you a practical example which I myself have faced in one of the clients where I'm working. After
Okay.
lunch, we have a habit of walking because it's the only time when we walk, right? We always sit and work. So one day when we are
Yes.
walking, EHS department, EHS team is walking. So suddenly a taxi fellow went in so fast that he was about to hit us. And it is in a plant. You are not supposed to drive more than 20 kilometers per hour. The security immediately chased him, stopped him, and understood this taxi vendor who regularly supplies taxi for the employees. The regular driver did not come, so not to lose the money, he sent a temporary driver, but he did not train the person that you have to be 20 kilometers speed only, kind of thing. So immediately what they did,
Okay.
they terminated the contract. If something would have happened in the premises, plant premises, it is the responsibility of the plant, not the vendor first. So it is a big mistake by the vendor not to train the people how to behave. How can it be tolerated? So there you don't maintain the name of the driver. Okay, this is the cab or this is the truck or maybe any other device or whatever the way. He is entering on behalf of this vendor. A painter can come. People who are painting. Cleaners can come. People who are cleaning. With respect to a company, they represent a company, the external company. So they have to give the training. If a painter is working in the top of the building, you cannot expect uh, us to provide the safety precaution. They have to take care because we gave a contract. If something happens, they are responsible. In a chemical company, the what is it? The stock will be stored. Someone will come and need to take the stock or deliver the stock, which is chemicals, of course. So definitely the vendor is responsible.
Yes, Ram, got it.
Okay. So if no questions are there, can we go for the next topic?
Yes, please.
And these are nothing but displaying a master data. We are not what to say, we are not creating anything, it is for the display only. So generally it is about HR master data displaying for employees, and this is applicant master data. Applicant means a person who is entering into premises to become an employee but not an employee yet. He is trying to become an employee, so he's not an external person, nor he is an employee. He's middle, so we call him applicant only. So that's the reason. An applicant will be created by HR, so we can just access the data. Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay. And regarding questionnaire, we have two options called as questionnaire and question catalog. This I would explain it, I would say, in the occupational health basic data, where again in the questionnaires we have the same option, questionnaire and question catalog. So if I explain it here, it would be much more easy to understand and correlate than immediately if I start in IHS, because we did not go for work areas yet. So that is the reason I would like to take the questionnaires in occupational health in this topic. So I'm just parking this topic here. So now let us start with work areas. As we discussed yesterday, work area is something, an area where an employee works. And as you know, in EHS, we don't have a separate T code to create it. Within the edit work areas only, we have an option of create button. So we don't have a separate T code to create. So I try to create a particular work area. So since it is a demo system, I have it only 1000 planned. So I'm going to select it. Status, the work area either should be in a creative mode or active mode. Generally, if it is created, then it follows a workflow where someone has to make it active. But practically speaking, this is not done. So generally, all the work areas will be uploaded. So it will be in active mode only. So let us take it. So what do you mean by inactive and historical? Can someone say this? Inactive work area, historical work area. Can someone say this?
Like the work area used earlier, but now that is not going to use, so they
Very
marked
good.
as inactive.
Very good. Very good.
Or historical in the sense like we have used long back and we can keep track of all the whoever like worked during this period, and we can track the history from them.
No, historical is not correct. Okay. Inactive is correct. Historical is not correct. Can anyone say what is historical?
That has been used previously but will not be used. Just
No, that is inactive. See, inactive means what you said was absolutely right. Okay. Earlier we are the work area is there. Now we are not using it. That is inactive. Historical means we are dismantling that work area. There is no work area at all. Just on the books it will be there. It is dismantled. Historical, gone. So that is historical. Inactive means I am still able to see the work area, but I am not using it. Earlier it used to be there. Now I am dismantling the work area. That is historical. So active. Always I select active. Next work area type. We have option of company. This is a someone has created it. So just let us leave it. I will remove it. So we have an option of company, location, plant, site, production system, operation area, equipment, work center, activity, and storage location. And this can be enhanced or renamed as per the conditions. So someone created a block. Can be. So now let us try to create a company. Coordinates means the latitude and longitude can be maintained physically because it is a tangible, right? It is not hypothetical like HR. It is physical. So we have a physical coordinates also. Authorization group, whoever are eligible to enter into the work area, like everyone, or only production team, or maybe R&D group, like this, you can select it, who are eligible. Since it is a company I'm creating, I will put all, enter, save it. So now I created a company. Good. Company number is 93. But what is the name of it. So we have an option of go to. In the go to, we have an option of description. So in the description, I maintain what is the name of the company. So I don't want to name any, I will just say chemical company. That's all. I'll come back to header data. So you can see the name is there. So now what I do, I want to create a hierarchy. So now I come back, I'll try to again get it created. So I'll select the same 1000 status active. So instead of company, now I will put a location. Authorization group all, enter, save it. I will give a name for it, go to description. So what is the location? I would say it as chemical company. I would say it as India and save it. Now the question comes, this chemical company India, under which it should be reporting? Under which it should report? Should it report under chemical company, right? It should be reporting under a chemical company. Correct or wrong? See, TCS Hyderabad reports to the head office, maybe TCS India or directly to TCS Group. So like this chemical company India should report to whom? So that is what we are putting a higher level work area. So we select it. We will have a list of all the higher level work areas. These are all the companies. But in the project, you will have only one company. Here it is IHS system, so people are creating, so you have multiple companies. So that's the reason. I select my chemical company and I save it. So when I come back, I can see a small hierarchy defined. I select this, click on the ninth icon, work area hierarchy. See, you can see a hierarchy. I have a company, under company I have a location. So suppose I want another location. What I need to do? So I'll come back, again create, again same options. I'll select the same options. Again I'll select one more location, all, save it. Maybe I'll put it as go to description. I'll put the description as CC. I'll put it as maybe US or Canada. So now what is the high level for US? US also should report to the chemical company only. That's a location only. So I select chemical company and I save it. So if I again come back and try to select my chemical company and click on the ninth icon from the left, work area hierarchy. So I can see two locations coming, right, which are identical. In a similar way, I can create an entire hierarchy. So what I need to do, come back, again create. I'll put it as next after location. I'll put it as plant. So in this plant, I save it. So what I will say it, maybe plant, I'll put it as Hyderabad plant. CC IN Hyderabad. Now the question comes, CCIN Hyderabad, should it report to CCIN or it should report directly to CC? That's a decision an organization can make, no problem. So what we do, we come and we select the higher level work areas, but now you can see all the higher level above it. Earlier it's only company, but now even the location also comes. So we'll come down, we'll select CC India because it's in Hyderabad. So I select CC India, save it. Now if I come back and check my hierarchy, how it looks like, this is how it looks like. Under a company, I have two locations. Under a location, I have a plant. Again, similar, under a plant, I can have a site. Under a site, I can have a production system. Like this, it can go. So if you see a sample work area, because SAP gives a sample in IDS system, right? So this is how it is there. Select it, click on hierarchy. See, Are we clear? Any doubts in this hierarchy, work area or hierarchy, please?
It's
Ram,
clear,
one.
Ram. Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead,
go ahead.
Tarun.
No, no, go ahead, Jyoti. No problem.
Yeah, so this we are able to see this red color, like red and yellow color.
Yes, yes, yes. The risk assessment. Right, 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 right. We have not completed the remaining tabs. Suppose, see, we have not completed integration, IHS, exposure profile, and safety measure. Once we complete it, definitely you will be able to see for your work area also these traffic lights. Whether it is yellow, green, or red, you can see it. As of now, for the hierarchy, are we good to go?
Okay.
Ram, one question. Are these hierarchies dependent on each other? So if I make plant as historic or dismantle or something inactive, then will the site which can still be
Automatically,
inactive?
that's a very good question. Automatically, it won't go historical.
Okay.
Suppose if you want to make this airbrush sprayer, this particular work center, as historic, okay, so these three activities automatically it won't go historical. When work center is historical, this one is historical, it is implied all the subsequent is also historical. So why this traffic light comes, see, when we do the remaining topics you can understand there is a risk associated with each work area, like we discussed yesterday, right? Even in the
Right.
workplace also, what are the risks? So when a permit is being issued, one of the signature would be a safety department signature. So he will come, he will search the work area for which the permit is being issued, and he will come and see, hey, hazard level is there, so he will definitely open the work area, go to exposure profile, and then he will see, okay, these are the chemicals. So now what is the status? Is it in normal status, maintenance status, or disruption status? It is disruption status. So because disruption, it is a high risk. So I will tell them these are the precautions that are to be worn when you are entering the work area, or you have to take when you are entering the work area. So for a safety officer, just to come and see in a overview before issuing a permit, he will see the traffic light and he will understand, oh, this is a high risk area, or this is a no risk, this is a medium risk area. Like this, for him to understand, this traffic light serve as easy purpose, right? We know red means it is very high, or stop, or don't go. All these things will be there, correct?
Right. Yeah, but this is more from the risk perspective, Ram. What I was thinking, so for example, if a company have 10 plants, okay, and one plant becomes inactive, they discontinue that plant, then within that plant, various sites and workspace, we have to go and make each one of them historic or inactive.
We have to
So
make
this,
each one of them historic. Unfortunately, if you make the top level historic, the next levels are not automatically made historic.
okay, got it. But ideally, just thinking, if a plant is inactive, then how can ideally,
No,
if
ideally, what you said was absolutely right. Generally, the way it happens is that we don't make the top levels historic. Generally, particular lower levels only will become historic. So slowly, when we are dismantling, practically speaking, we come from bottom to up approach. So first I will make this activity historic, then I will come to the work center historic, then I will make the equipment historic. I will not just make the equipment historic without dismantling the bottom level ones, right? Generally, if you're dismantling it, first we'll stop
right,
the
right.
process. We just don't dismantle it like that, right? Slowly from the bottom to top, we will come. So as and when it is happening, it is not just like, okay, today I think tomorrow it will be historic. No, unless it is a explosion or some kind of earthquake or physical damage. So otherwise, what will happen is that slowly, when you're dismantling, you will slowly stop process by process, everything, and then come. So whenever it is happening, respective process will be made historic. So that is the reason. It is not just top level if you made historic. It is from the bottom to top it will come, right?
Right. Got
That is
it.
the reason.
With some of our clients, not sure, Ram, if it will make the context, but some of the client, if they sell businesses. So, for example, if a company sells some business, then
Yes, very good question. I came across this scenario very recently. Don't want to name the clients in US. Two chemical companies. One chemical company purchased a second chemical company. So now they both have their own SAP systems.
right,
Sorry, we have to integrate the data. So now what is happening? The client which has purchased, let's say, let us take A is the one who sold and B is the one who purchased. So B is trying to import everything from A into their system. So now there is no more A present. Complete A is dismantled. But
right.
before dismantling, all the data from A is imported into B. So when system itself is not there A, so everything is discarded because it is there in the B. So your condition, if I sell something, the data will not just go like that.
Hmm, right,
It will be imported into the other system, the one who is purchasing it, because both has an SAP system, right? Both has an SAP license and everything. So once they import, the whole A will be redundant.
right.
So that is how it will be there. So any more doubt?
No, thanks, Ram.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else have a doubt?
I think we can move ahead, Ram.
Yes, great. So now let us, these are the different topics: integration, industrial hygiene, exposure profile, and safety measure. We'll start with industrial hygiene and safety data. But before, I think I explained the difference, right? What is the difference between IHS and safety measure? Did I explain it? No? Okay. So industrial hygiene and safety measures. What is the difference between these two? Yes, anyone. What is the difference between these two? Because it seems same only, right? Even from people from domain also, I think couple of guys are from domain, right? It is, you can try. What is the difference between industrial hygiene and safety data and safety measures? Just explain me, anyone. So industrial hygiene and safety means, okay, whenever you enter a plant premises, suppose if you are given a helmet, a safety, maybe a coat or a boot, whatever it is, that's normal for anyone who enters into the premises. So a normal regulation, whatever you follow, is called as industrial hygiene and safety. That's normal across the company. But if the same person is working in a height or entering into the production area of chemicals or something which is exposed to chemicals and all, he will be given additional protections, additional what to say, safety thing based on what? Based on a risk that is identified. So safety measure always comes, or we can call it control measures, based on a risk that is identified. Are we clear?
Ram, could you please repeat once again? Sorry.
Okay, I will take an example of chemical company. Let us take a pharma company. When you enter into a pharma company, what they will say? You have to wear an apron, you have to wear a mask because you should
Mm-hmm.
not inhale that particles or exhale microorganisms. So that is a normal precaution. Anyone who enters the pharma company production areas will be doing. But who is actually working in the production line? they'll be wearing additional precautions, like they'll be wearing respiratory protection. They'll be wearing the space suits, like we have seen COVID patients treatment, space suits and all, they are taken. So why? Because there is a risk that is associated in that particular work area, not across the company, in that work area. So safety measures are derived based on a risk identified. No risk, no safety measure needed. Just we can go for industrial hygiene and safety, which is common across the company. Identify risk, go for safety measure. Am I clear? Or still not clear?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, it's clear, Ram. I got it.
Yeah. So let us start with the general one, industrial hygiene and safety data. So here IHS data talks about description of task, means what task can be performed here. So tomorrow, if something happens, an incident or accident happens, first they will ask in the investigation, what are you doing? You might say, I am doing this. Because you did this, we got affected. Why you have done something which is not supposed to be done? It is something like we all have company laptops or maybe VPNs. Are we supposed to see some kind of data that can create a malware or something like that? We should not, correct? So what is the task that you are supposed to perform, either in IT or chemical or construction? So those tasks are clearly defined. You select option, they are clearly defined. Press control, multiple selections, or you can just drag and you can say okay, and then again press enter. So these are the tasks that are able to be performed in this particular work area. Apart from this, if you do something else, that can affect negatively. Clear?
Yep.
Next, activity restriction. What do you mean by activity restriction? Any idea?
Like what all activity you need to perform,
You
only
should
that.
not perform. You should not perform. Restriction. You should not perform.
Yeah, yeah. Should
Yeah.
not perform.
Yeah. Something like you should not smoke in petrol bunk or near to the highly volatile chemicals. You should always, you should not remove helmet when you are in a construction site, or when you are in a war, you should not remove your helmet. High noise areas, pregnant women should not come, because that will definitely, a negative impact will be there. So all those kinds of restriction, what you are not supposed to do, will be here. Unqualified people should not be allowed to enter the server room. So like this it will be there. So these are called as phrases. So what is phrases? Phrase management, that's a bigger topic. I will explain it. But as of now, we are just learning how to assign the phrases. That's all. Next, physical environment. What do you mean by physical environment? Anyone?
Temperature, air pressure, those kind of conditions.
Very good. Very, very good. Why it is needed in IHS data?
Some of the specific operations, they are performed under a specific set of settings when it comes to temperature, pressure. Think so.
Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. So physical environment is mandatory before we perform anything. Suppose if it is less dust particles or more dust particles, like this, if you want anything, so physical environment can be taken. Whether you're having windows, whether you're not having a windows, whether it is isolated, hall, whatever it is. and you cannot select multiple. If you try multiple, system will throw an error. The setting is saying only one entry because you cannot have multiple physical environments, correct? It should be only either one or no. So that is the reason there are some of the parameters where you cannot select multiple. It has to be only one. It cannot be multiple. Clear? Next, safety requirements. What do you think by safety requirements? Difference between safety equipment and devices and special safety measures. Can anyone concentrate on these three and explain? Safety requirement, safety equipment and devices, special safety measures. What is the difference between these three?
Safety requirement can be sort of trainings, how to use a device. Uh, I think safety equipment and devices can be the devices which will enable those trainings to be used successfully, like PPE kits and all. And special safety measures can be, you only wear the PPE once you enter the plant site, and then you remove and place it on some secured area once you move out of the plant site.
Very good. Very good. What is the difference between special safety measures?
Mm,
Maybe that includes the preventive or corrective actions that needs to be taken when they are moving into that plant location. Like something, if something goes wrong, then they should be aware of what is the corrective action they need to take in that particular situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Anyone wants to add a point for this?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like keeping signboards in the near the work sites,
Very
so
good.
that to get the awareness regarding the surrounding environment.
Very good. See, I will ask you one simple question. You are being hired by a company. Let us say, for example, TCS. So first, did they not give what is the requirement for you to enter the company? They might have advertised, I would need a resource of so and so qualities, of so and so capabilities, skill set for me to hire. Correct or wrong?
Yep.
So
Yes.
that is the requirement. So safety requirement means a person who is qualified only should enter here. A person who is having so much of years experience or well trained or certified should be entering here. The equipment should have been validated, audited before you are sending it to the work. So those are the safety requirements. Equipment and devices means your smoke detectors, fire alarms, exit signboards, water sprinklers, fire extinguishers, the axe to break the glass and escape outside, ladders, hose to pump the water. All those are safety equipment and devices. Special safety measures are, see, these are all normal, but my chemical is different. I am handling a radioactive chemical or highly volatile chemical, something like that. So for those we have special safety measures. So qualification of forklift, physical suitability to lift, the equipment, everything. So I'll select it multiple. Okay. Equipment and devices, I can select like fire extinguisher, fire alarm, all those things. I can select. So now what happened to the other fields? So this is the next page. Click on next page. You can see special safety measure. So these are the special safety measures. Next, we have something called as immediate measures. What do you mean by immediate measure? In case of immediate exposure, what are the immediate? Wash immediately with water, take him into the air, visit a doctor. All those are immediate measures. What you are going to take if you are exposed to a chemical. So, immediate measures are what immediately will be performed if you are involved in that particular work area or situation. First aid facilities. Hospital is different, first aid facility is different. Please understand the difference between these two. You're not taking him to the health center yet. You're giving him the first aid facility, like maybe arresting the blood bleeding, all those things. So first aid facility, what are the types of first aid facilities are there? You are going to select it. In event of emergency, notify to whom? Whom are we trying to notify in case of emergency? And it is only single person. You cannot enter multiple people. Whether I'm calling a fire brigade, whether I'm calling a physician or an industrial hygienist or a plant, who? So I'm going to select it. And emergency number also should be a unique number like 911, 100, whatever it is, it will be unique one. It will not be multiple things. Emergency plan. So for every region, every country, there is an emergency approved plan by the regulatory authority for each industry. If it is a chemical industry, what is the emergency plan? If it is a hazardous chemical industry, what is the plan? If it is a waste industry, what is the plan? If it is a construction, what is the plan? If it is a mining, what is the plan? Like this, there will be different plans approved based on the industry by the government. So that is the emergency plan. Everyone will follow. So we go for emergency plan, like US EPA emergency plan. Then let me come to the next, PPE. You know, right? Personal protective equipment. What are the equipment you are wearing to protect yourself? That is personal protective equipment. Ventilation. See, physical environment is different, ventilation is different. Because if ventilation is not there, it is called as a confined space. So where respiratory protection will be given for the people who are working inside. So ventilation is always different. So ventilation has to be taken care. Next, extraction device. Extraction device is not about a human extraction. It's about maybe in the chemical company or pharma company, you are not supposed to maintain. You are supposed to maintain without moisture. So moisture extraction, particle extractions, because medicines we are taking tablets and all, you cannot see any particles or hair follicles like this, right? It will be cure. It will be very clean. Why? Because they have extraction device which will suck the particles, which will not allow, which will suck the moisture, which will not allow. So that is extraction device. So what are the devices that are there to extract? And any additional remarks if you want to maintain for this particular work area, you are going to maintain it. Clear? Any doubts in this IHS data?
No, it's clear.
Very good. So we will complete about integration and we'll start exposure profile tomorrow, which are very important topics. So this we will be doing it tomorrow. So if there are no doubts, I think I can wind up the session today. Does anyone have a doubt or can I wind up the session?
One question, Ram. So, like how we discussed the industrial hygiene and safety data about, so all these forms and fields in 2 pages that we filled up. I assume this is standard SAP, right? So
Right,
every standard IHS comes with these fields
right.
specifically. So if we assume there is a case for an organization, there are some of the, so these have to be customized. For example, some of the fields will not make sense, and if you are working in a chemical industry, they want to enter some additional fields to capture the additional data.
Yes,
I don't.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
The option to provide will be definitely given. Only thing is that right now I'm showing the front end of it. I'm not showing the configuration still. So when we come to the configuration, like how to create entirely new fields or new tabs or maybe everything will be explained to you
got it. Okay.
when we are in the configuration. But right now we are just trying to understand the functionality of the easy access, right? So that's
I
the reason.
understand. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's the
Just
reason I did not
trying.
emphasize much on that.
Got it. No, no. I
No,
just
your
trying to
question is very
connect
valid.
it.
Your question
Yeah.
is very valid. I appreciate it. It's very valid. But only thing is that this is the reason why I did not emphasize.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So Ram, we can see there is a button called matchup.
Yes. Yes. Obviously correct. We
So
did not
what
come
is
to the
the
matchup. We did not come to the matchup because we did not finish the remaining tabs also. Once we complete
oh,
exposure profile, then I can activate the matchup where the rating will come. If you see the rating, your red
oh,
color traffic light and all will come after we click the matchup only.
oh, okay, okay,
So
got it,
till we
got it.
click the matchup, we don't get it. So, but if I don't complete exposure profile, we cannot do that.
Okay.
So if nothing else, can we just wind up?
Yes, Ram.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.